welcome to a shift to integration. So the idea here is, so far in this course, we have focused on taking a function and going to its derivative. Oops. So far in this class, we have focused on starting with a function and finding its derivative. So essentially, we start with f of x, and then we figure out f prime of x. Okay. Now we want to go the other direction. So now we wish to go the other direction. So we want to start with f prime of x and somehow figure out what f of x could be. So we've seen this a bit with curve sketching, right? I've given you, say, the graph of f prime of x and asked you to figure out what might be the graph of f of x. But we can do this more formally. And so what we'll have is this will require integration. So the derivative or differentiation takes us from f to f prime, and integration is an effort to go the other direction. So a place where we have this for a real world example, recall that if we have d of t is the displacement or position. Let me shift this one moment. So d of t is displacement or position, right? Then the derivative of that, d prime of t, often written as v of t, is velocity. And then the second derivative of displacement, or the first derivative of velocity, is a of t, or acceleration. So essentially what we have here is that if we wanted, we could go the other direction. So if we start with acceleration, then we can use integration to work our way back to velocity. So we can use integration to work our way back to velocity. And then velocity is just the derivative of displacement, so we can use integration again to work our way back to displacement. So we can use integration again to work our way back to displacement. There will be a little more to it than simply kind of going backwards. When we take the derivative, we do lose a little piece of information. So when we integrate or do our integration, we need a little extra information to find the specific velocity function and the specific displacement function, but this is a start at least. So this is one of the more common cases where integration is often used. Another place where we often will wind up using integration is when we are dealing with work. But that is something that you will see in Calc 2. Work is in physics, the term work. Again, that's something you will deal with in Calc 2. We will not worry about work for Calc 1. So that's just sort of the basic idea of how we're shifting gears. We're now working on going from F prime to F for the remainder of the semester.